Mom, your role as the sister-in-law, you know, I had misread that history to think that, you know, because her dad had 2 daughters, that, you know, Wole Soyinka's mom was probably her sister. And then when I watched the movie, he put it in perspective. You don't have to carry that knowledge, that misconception around that, you know, they were sisters.
Oh.
But they were sister and sister, I mean, wife and sister-in-law.
Exactly.
In the movie. And so so many facts of Funmilayo Ransome-Kuti that were distorted over the years. My father used to give me books from the British Library. He was a member just for my books. He would borrow the books and I would read them. But the focus was on African history. So all the way to Senegal, I would read any book on African history. And I just carried my DS3 knowledge of this one. They are their sisters.
No.
I also thought she drove a car. Nobody talked about the husband's part. That in the movie, my eye wake up.
How they met, I never knew.
The fact that she had a beautiful love story behind her activism. I cannot but give it to the.
See, we need to talk about
the story writer. You know, for that.
Yes, so we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it. But you know, during the break, she was talking about the fact that some of the beatings were real. Please, whenever I
What
we saw the beatings.
What did you get?
Even me, I thought that no, they had to be real.
Whew. You know, sometimes when you're telling a story as iconic and passionate as this, and of course understanding that this is an African story that the world needs to know, the world needs to see, you get carried away. Especially when it's something that has to do with activism. So there was a scene, I don't want to talk so much about it, where and on set we had over 500 women from Abeokuta. Egba women actually stood up and stood out for us. A lot of them were not actors. They didn't even want to be paid. The fact that we were telling the story was just enough for them. And then we had, like in real time, right, the Parakois, who were like the palace guards. You know, they were going to beat the women, like we saw in the teaser we just watched. And they started to beat us. These people were actors and all that. But you know, somehow, realism and reality, they're kind of interconnected. Art and life is connected. And before we knew it, when BAP said action, they had to make it real. So some of them really even beat us and everything. And we were sustaining wounds, but we just wanted them to continue. And by the time they were done, a lot of us were crying.
And
not because, not real tears, not from the pain we had, but it took us, yes, it took us to that moment that if this that is acting, right, we can feel it this way. I can imagine what these women must have gone through, and they did not stop. They stood till the end, and they won the battle. They won the war, although some of them lost the battle as well. But they stood till the end, and at the end of the day, the Alake left for us. Yes, he was dethroned. And, you know, life became better for Egba women from there and Nigerian women generally.
Wow.
So it was, I sustained some injuries and everything, but it didn't matter